This could be us, but you haven't called. Call 1-833-77-SOLAR right now and join the 320 Solar Happy Customers Club for $0 down and no payments until 2022. We'll put the power back in your hands. 320 Solar. Power up.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I'm alive. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm alive. Oh yeah. Hey, come on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm alive. Oh yeah. Hey, come on. Oh yeah. I'm alive. Oh yeah.
Are you ready?
All right. Are you ready? Welcome to Live from the Cheap Seats, powered up by 320 Solar, 320solar.com. Finally, say goodbye to your electric bill. Zero out of pocket until 2022. Own your power. Don't rent it. I think that's a pretty cool promotion that they've got going there. Well, Bucs fans, are you ready? Are you happy? Are you happy now? I mean, you got the win. You got the win under your belt. You've got improvement. Everything's looking good right now. I mean, you should be riding. You should be riding high right now. I don't want to hear a whole lot of complaining. I don't want to hear a lot of griping. I don't want to hear a whole lot of belly aching. Guys, you got to win. You got the win. You played against a team of professionals out there that were out there trying their best. Not everything's going to go perfect. It's a new team, but it sure looked better than last week, didn't it? I think that is not a bad day overall. So are you happy now? Now, the one thing that I want to do, let me explain real quick, since the show is still pretty new. What we're going to do, we're going to take some phone calls here shortly, and we're going to talk about the game today. But I want you to know there are several things that can happen here. On the offside chance, you say something a little bit crazy. You might hear,
Walk the plank.
all that means you're going to get booted. It doesn't mean I don't want you to call back. It just means go sit down for a minute. Think about what you said. Think about it. Think through it. Feel free to give me a call back and let's talk. I want you to be a part of the show. Now, the other thing is, let's say you bring something to the table. You make a great point. You might hear this.
Are you ready?
Oh, that trumpet. Now, that's a sound that's near and dear to anybody who's been a Bucs fan for any length of time. That's old school for you. And at some point, probably not today, but at some point, we will play the full version of where that trumpet blast came from. But right now, we are here in the cheap seats. I am ready to hear from you. Are you ready to bring it? The number to call me is 678-825-5263. It's 678. Talk to me. And I want to hear from you and talk about today's game. I am very excited about the improvements that we saw. We've already got a call. Hold on just a moment. Hello, who is this? Who am I speaking with? Hello? Nope. Whoever it was hung up. Listen, I am about as excited as you can be when it comes to this game. Just because of this. Listen, there's improvement. When you start off struggling like they did last week, when you start off, let's try again. Hey, this is Rick. Who am I speaking with?
It's Matto.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing much better today than I was last week.
I would think so, man. I would think so, brother. Man, that's a relief, huh?
Well, I tell you what, the defense looked like it was week 10 of last year.
Yeah.
Everybody was getting after it. We got Sue involved in the game, which was kind of weird not seeing him last week. He was on the sideline at the end of last week's game. I don't know what the deal was with that.
Yeah.
But he was active and busy and getting in people's faces. JPP is not going to let Shaq Barrett hold the season sack record very long, I don't think.
He was dropping back in coverage again. I don't know what they're doing. That's something new. And they had him dropping back in coverage again.
Did you see when Vita Vea dropped back?
Yeah. I don't think you know what to expect.
320 pounds going over across a running back that's coming out in the middle there.
Yeah.
And he was covering that guy. I was like, what the hell is that about?
Yeah, I don't know,
I
Matt.
wouldn't want to be that running back.
Yeah, I think that this is one of the more creative defenses, and I imagine that the guys are all still even learning it, especially the young guys, because every play it seems like something different is going on. There's somebody different coming. There's somebody different dropping back in coverage. There's always something different happening. You never know what to expect. So it's exciting to watch. It's kind of crazy to see happen, but yeah, it's a good time.
Well, I tell you what, Todd Bowles may not have been a very good head coach at New York, but as far as a defensive coordinator, that guy's on top of the world like Monty Kiffin was.
Yeah.
He's got things going on that you just don't see, like you just said. Yeah. And it's fun to watch because you don't know what the hell the offense doesn't know what's getting ready to come. As a spectator, you're like, where the hell did you come up with this idea?
Well, I agree. It's funny.
When it's working, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to talk about was Brady. I couldn't believe he threw another interception. That was crazy. But instead of falling to the pressure the press was trying to put on him about having a bad week, he just came back and started doing that Brady New England thing on the sideline where he was telling people to get your head out of the butt and let's go. We're going to win and come back. Yeah. And it was nice to see. There was some positivity over there.
He had to get his own head out of his butt. That pick, I don't know that was such a great move there, that pick. I mean, it looked like it was overthrown. If he'd thrown it lower even, it would have been okay. I mean, yeah, I think Gronk, listen, man, we were all excited about Gronk coming here, but so far, I don't know.
Yeah, taking up space. Dungy said on the pregame show to the late game that it's still Gronk doesn't know the keys to go in or out or up or back or whatever,
right?
Like Mike Evans would and that kind of thing,
right,
in this offense. So it's a learning thing.
Evans had a heck of a game.
I'm not convinced they're just having him out there as a blocker on the left side. I just think that he's there as a safety shield to keep Brady up because he's the best blocker in the tight ends.
Well, they threw an awful lot, didn't they? I mean, they threw him. They threw quite a bit to him today. Sometimes they probably shouldn't have, but they did. So,
well, when you're in the advantage of having the 3 touchdown lead for most of the half,
yeah,
you can throw out a couple of weird plays every now and again.
Yeah,
but that was good to see. I thought they were going to run over, hold a 0, and put up a 50, which would have been really cool.
Yeah,
but that didn't happen.
Yeah, it started like it was going to be that way. It started. My pick for the game was 38-17, so I basically missed by a touchdown.
Well, that's not too bad.
No.
How many points were they buffering you there?
No, I didn't. See, I'm not a bettor. I think I've explained this before. I think I've said this before. The point spread is not set based on who Vegas thinks is going to win or lose. The point spread is set completely based on trying to get 50% of the fans to vote for one side, 50% to vote for the other. If 50% put their money down on one side, 50% put their money down for the other side, the house wins.
Yeah, that's true. The only person ever made a casino lose money and bankrupt was Donald Trump. Just saying.
Don't go there.
The only
No
guy I ever heard
politics. No politics.
No, just not politics, just a little business education for
There you go. There you go.
Who was the guy? Was it Carl Davis that took the interception?
Yeah,
off that
Carlton
guy's
Davis.
shoulder?
Carlton Davis. And the play before, though, I don't know if you saw this. The play before was a long pass, and it looked like Jamel Dean, I think it was, got burned. But the fact is, Carlton Davis was not giving him safety help. He had two safeties over the middle, and Carlton Davis was supposed to be over on that side, providing some assistance back there, and he was out of position. So he made up for it the next play, though, didn't he? I don't mind if you're going to screw up,
Yeah,
if you're going to follow it up like that.
Well, nobody's even talking about that. His
Right.
screw up. All they're talking about is this. That was a circus catch. The craziest thing
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize he had it, and I don't think he did either.
No, that was a
It just
that
showed
was
up on his belly.
Yeah, that was a beautiful interception.
Switching gears to a different game, did you catch any of the Kansas City,
Yes,
not
I
San
caught
Diego,
quite a
Los
bit of it.
Angeles
Yeah,
Chargers?
the Chargers. I caught quite a bit of it.
That was a pretty good effort by the Chargers, considering they had a guy that was playing quarterback that wasn't even supposed to start.
I didn't see
It
it
ended
coming.
up
Did
getting called
you?
in at the very beginning of the game. Their starter had a rib injury,
Yeah,
and he re-aggravated it.
yeah.
So they brought in this Herbert, and every time I saw his last name, I saw here.
Hebert.
They call him Bobby Hebert.
Yeah,
I couldn't get that out of my
yeah.
head.
I do the same thing. I was thinking
kept
the exact
correcting
same
the guy
thing.
on TV. I was like, "That's not how you say that."
Yeah, Justin Herbert.
Anyway, the boy made he made a game out of it.
Yeah, he
and
did.
I just wanted to tip my hat to them. They
Yeah.
look a lot better than I thought they were.
Yeah,
And maybe Kansas City had a bad game, but that was
that's the Chargers, though.
close call.
That's the Chargers. That's the Chargers. They're always kind of looking good. You always think they should, oh wow, okay, look at the Chargers, and then somehow or other at the end they're struggling or losing. I don't know.
All right. Well, I just wanted to call in, maybe get the gates flowing here. I'm
Yeah,
probably
Matt.
logging up-
Give me a call back
logging
later.
Up the line.
No, fine. Give
I
me a call
will.
back later.
Something comes back
We have a
up.
special guest coming on here in just a second, so let me give him let me pull him up into this and give me a call back in a little bit.
Great. You have a good night, Rick.
Thanks, Matt. Matt Colson from, I believe, Oklahoma. And now we have the honor, the special guest, the dude abides. How you doing, dude?
Hey, brother, what's going on? What a day, let me tell you. First of all, okay,
Yeah.
the demise of Tom Brady's career has been greatly exaggerated.
I thought it was over. Wait a minute. I thought it was all over.
And I'll say this, and to piggyback off what you guys were talking about with Brady on the sideline. Yes, Brady has a tendency to get a little pissed off. Yes, Brady has a tendency to let those feelings be known. But you know what's the best part about that? If you go back and watch the video, look at the other Buccaneers players' heads whip around. I'm like, uh-oh. And I think that's something they were missing last year, whereas Tom Brady is chewing their ass to do this and do that right, instead of trying to eat his fingers.
Well, that
Okay.
that's the thing. No, I agree with you completely. He doesn't settle. I mean, he doesn't settle. They were up by 21 and he was mad.
Well,
I mean,
that's a champion. That's
Right.
a perfectionist. That's what the GOAT does.
that's exactly right.
And before we start giving a glowing praise to the former Jaguar, Ronald Jones had a decent start to the game.
Yeah.
And in true Bill Belichick fashion, Ronald Jones puts the ball in the ground and Ronald Jones ends up on a milk carton. But that said, I think we all kind of knew this in the back of our head. Once you give Leonard Fournette a couple reps and you get him into a groove or get him into a rhythm, what he does is what he did today. That's what the Buccaneers have been missing. And I hate to say this, they've been missing that since way back to Mike Allstott.
Oh, yeah.
That back you can bring in. You're up by 7. Think about this, Buccaneer fans. They were up by 7, and the Buccaneers were able to run the ball down the other team's throat to put the game away.
Yeah,
okay,
that was a big deal. The way they ended that, the way that game ended was a big deal. Now I was concerned. It bothered me that they went into prevent defense with like 6 minutes left. That bothered me. You're only up by 10, and you're going to prevent defense way early. But
the prevent defense, I think. Okay, can we just ask the prevent defense opt out for the 2020 season? Because,
amen to that.
Because here's what the prevent defense works if you're up by, I don't know, 3 or 4 scores late in the fourth quarter, and you just want to kill the last 2 minutes, so you let them score a touchdown. But in a 2-possession game, you don't play prevent, because if the prevent doesn't work and they get in, now it's just one silly onside kick. Falcons, Cowboys today, and boom, they have a chance to tie it, if not win it, and steal a game. So whoever called the prevent defense, walk the plank. That's your cue.
There, actually, I think for making that point, you get, that's what it's all. That is absolutely a fact. Please let the prevent defense opt out of this season. I mean, that's where every player decides that they're going to social distance. That's what happened. Like the entire backfield decided they're going to social distance, leave the entire.
And you know what, Rick, you and I and Peter and everybody on this platform, in fact, I think everybody across the Buccaneer fan base and media world has done everything they could to take as many shots as they could at Donovan Smith. Yeah. And rightly so. I will say this. I saw improvement today. Do you know why? Because he didn't start sucking till the second half. So you got 30 minutes under your belt, son. Well played. Now we need you to put 60 together. But again, Donovan, and no disrespect, man, I can't do what you're doing. That's why we talk about it. But you did play a better first half today. I have to say that.
The whole offensive line did. The whole offensive line played much better.
Absolutely. Brady's stain-free uniform was the proof that I needed of that. But Donovan, okay, you're a tough guy. At least you are on social media. All right. When you're that late in the first half and the clock's winding down and you have a little injury, get your ass off the field. Yep. Do not sit down and make them run 10 seconds off.
Yep.
These are simple football plays. Now I understand you were in pain. Cool. Welcome to our life, Donovan. Bucs fans have been in pain, since 2007.
It's always something with him. It's just always something.
It is. He's high maintenance. And here's the thing. I'll put it to you this way. Donovan Smith, looks aside, could definitely play a role in like Atlanta Housewives or New Jersey Housewives, because he's very dramatic about literally everything.
Yeah.
Again, though, back to the offensive line, because we can't just talk about Donovan. First of all, the one name you did not hear again all day today was
on the offensive line. Well, yeah. I mean, I saw one time. I actually, it's partly not true. I saw a couple of beautiful plays. They may not have mentioned him, but there were a couple of blocks that I was like, holy cow, man. I mean, he just took the guy out, and it was like, okay. I mean, they were running behind him, and
yes, exactly. I mean, for a rookie lineman, and any lineman will tell you this, from Pee Wee all the way up to Canton. If they don't call your name during the game, that means you had a good game.
Yep.
Because linemen only get credit when they make a mistake. That said, 2 games into the rookie season, and Tristan Wirfs has already earned Donovan Smith's contract, more so than Donovan Smith has earned his own contract. Okay?
Agreed.
And for all the guys out there who are rah, or this or that, Jason Peters would have been better. I hate to say it, he would have been. Trent Williams would have definitely be better.
Yeah.
I hate to say that. But here we are. Buccaneers are 1-1.
Right.
Heading to a homecoming for Shaq Barrett in Denver. A Denver defense that does not have Von Miller, that apparently will be starting the greatness that is Jeff Driscoll at quarterback.
Yeah,
think about that for a minute.
Yeah, there are, I think 5 of them are out. Cortland Sutton, AJ Bowie. Von Miller, Drew Lock. I mean, they're hurting. They are hurting.
They are hurting. And Rick, I don't want to hijack your show. I just want to point out a couple things before I jump off here. First of all, right now, as it stands, the Buccaneers will be facing Jeff Driscoll at quarterback for the Denver Broncos. When you guys stop licking your lips and thinking about this, Jeff Driscoll can move around the pocket. Jeff Driscoll can run. But Jeff Driscoll can't run against this Buccaneers defense. So the Broncos are going to have to run hard and run heavy. Or, I don't know, sign a quarterback during this week. But, John Elway. I'm
terrified of backup quarterbacks. I mean, I'm shell-shocked when it comes to backup quarterbacks. I'm scared of backup quarterbacks.
The Bucs don't have a very good reputation with backup quarterbacks. Playing against them or with them. So, go figure. Great show, man. We appreciate all the support to all you guys out there watching. To all you ladies out there watching, we appreciate you more. You want to know why? Because you actually put comments in the comment section that makes sense instead of just, boom and yay and
wait a minute, there are ladies commenting?
Oh, you have quite a few comments. I know, exactly.
Wow.
But Rick, I'm going to get off here because I know your phones are going to blow up. We appreciate all the support. Great job today by the boys at the Deck Bar and Grill. Shout out real quick because it's late enough at night that we can say mycannabiscard.com, mycannabiscard.com. But big shout out, 320 Solar.
Yes.
The man, the myth, the legend, Frank Hammond. Cedric down at the Deck Bar and Grill. If you guys weren't at the Deck Bar and Grill in St. Petersburg for the watch party, be there next week. Giveaways, raffles. You can win a chance to win a brand new Chevy Silverado, courtesy of Great Bay Distributors. And you can only do that if you get down to the Deck Bar and Grill for the Bucs Report watch party. Now, that said, I'm going to get off here because I really don't like hearing myself. It kind of freaks me out. It's a whole feng shui thing for me. The dude appreciates you, man. Great job this week, not just tonight, not just today. Great job this week, Rick. And everybody, call in now because Rick will let you talk. Heck, he might even let you slip in a couple bad words like
no, none of that. No.
Can we say booty? How about booty?
Booty they can do.
How about ass?
Get out of here. I'm going to make you walk the plank.
All right.
All right, that was the dude. The dude abides. We had someone trying to call here just a few minutes ago. Feel free to give me a shout back, and we will talk. I'm always excited when the dude calls. That's it's about as good as it gets. Listen, man. Oh, here we do. We do have the call right now. Todd. I like Todd. How you doing, Todd?
Hey, Rich, how are you?
I'm doing great. Todd from Winter Park, correct? Todd, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
how you doing tonight?
Good. You're in Winter Park, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Todd has been a Bucs fan. He's one of the few that's been a Bucs fan as long as me. So, Todd, tell me how you're feeling, brother.
Well, great win. I've got a few things to say, and you can absolutely tell me if I'm right or wrong. You guys are the experts. You got a great show going on tonight. I appreciate you. I called in today and talked to Peter and Ray as well. So
I heard that.
Yes. So anyway, I thought it was a good win. I still think there's things that I watched Brady's press conference. There's things they still need to work on.
Sure. Yes.
But a win is a win. It was kind of an ugly win. They let Carolina back into the game, but there was a lot of positives as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brady and Evans got on the same page. I commented the other night when I was on the show with y'all about Leonard Fournette. He's going to be the guy. Not that Ronald Jones had a bad day. Ronald Jones had a good day as well. But I do think Leonard Fournette, before the year is over, is going to be the man in that running back rotation.
I don't know that there's going to be a man. This is history with Tom Brady. I I don't know that there's gonna be a man. One week it's one guy, one week it's another guy, the next week it's a different guy. That's the way it always seems to go with running backs with Brady. So honestly, I don't know what to think. I mean, it's not like Shady didn't start playing great. He just missed that pass in the end zone. If he'd caught that pass, everybody'd be talking about him. So,
well, I like all three of our backs.
yeah,
I do. I think they all got different attributes
Yeah.
that they all can do. They all can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Rojo's questionable.
You know, like you say, Shady had a chance. That ball was right there for Shady, and I know Shady's mad at himself. But
5 dropped
other than
passes.
that play, Shady played a pretty good game today. All three of the backs played good.
Yeah.
The O-line kept Brady clean today.
Yeah.
You know, I still think they need to get Gronk a little bit more involved in the offense, and I think they will as time goes. Scotty Miller played pretty good today. Justin Watson, I thought, played pretty good today. So, I mean, there's a lot of positives. And the defense, Sue, Pierre-Paul, Barrett, Devin White, Levante, they all played. Vita Vey, they all played good today.
Sue and Pierre-Paul absolutely had I mean, it was all about them today. Last week it was about Levante and Devin White. This week it was all Sue and Pierre-Paul. Jason Pierre-Paul and Ndamukong Suh. Every time I looked up, they were doing something. I mean, it was fun to see.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was fun to see that. I mean, they were all over their quarterback. So, I mean, Teddy, I happen to like Teddy Bridgewater. I'm kind of bummed that he's with Carolina now. But, I mean, I got to tell you, that poor guy took a beating today.
Well, I'm going to give Carolina a little credit here. They didn't quit.
No, they did not quit.
And of course, McCaffrey got hurt, and he was out, you know, part of that fourth quarter. So, I mean, they did not quit. I give the Panthers a lot of credit.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're going to be in some ball games, and they're going to surprise some people. They're going to win some games this year.
How about the Falcons?
You know, they got a lot of people out. They're banged up, but give them credit. But a win's a win.
Yeah,
I'll take the win. And we go to Denver next week, and they're banged up, and they lost Locke today. So I'm looking forward to next week.
It's going to be interesting. We get to see, by the way, we get to see the debut next week of the pewter uniforms.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be kind of fun.
Well, I didn't know that. Well, thanks for that info.
You got it.
Listen, I got to tell you something. I retired from public supermarkets, and actually there was a buddy of mine that worked the seafood department that was a big Florida Gator fan. And believe it or not, he says, "Do you know who that is?" And I said, "No." And he said, "That's Jeff Driscoll." Well, I went up and introduced myself to Jeff Driscoll and shook his hand. Great kid. I mean, he's a great kid, nice kid. He transferred to Louisiana Tech, of course, and I wished him the best. And just a very polite young man, great kid.
Well,
so,
too bad
Too
bad Gerald McCoy's not around to be polite back as he knocks him on his butt. But you know what? Instead,
yeah. Well, I hope we go up to Denver next week. That's always a tough place to play because of the altitude.
Thinking Shaq Barrett's going to be motivated.
Brady's had some tough games there, but hopefully we can go up there next week and get a win.
Yeah, I think Shaq Barrett's going to be motivated.
Oh, he absolutely will, and no Von Miller.
Right.
I think that absolutely helps.
Yeah.
And so I'm very happy today, and hope we can keep it going, and they can keep improving on the things that they need to improve on.
Yep.
You know, I think the Brady Gronk play there where Brady threw the interception. I don't think they were on the same page, and Brady keeps continuing to say, we got to communicate. We've all got to get on the same page, and we all have things that we have to improve on.
They will get there.
You know,
they will get there.
I believe that's true, but I think we can only get better.
Yeah, absolutely, Todd. I agree. Thank you for calling.
Hey, Rick, have a great night. You got a great show. Keep it going, brother.
Thanks. You got it. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
All right. All right. Yeah. 5 drop passes today. Hey, Yaj made the comment here. 2 more weeks and this offense will be locked in. Yaj, I agree with you completely. I think that's what it's going to take. I think it's going to take 2 more weeks. And I think then you'll start to see them really start clicking. I'm pretty confident about that. Hey, we got Teresa here. All right, Teresa, how you doing? Johnny Dean's around. Oh, speaking of, I was about to read one of his comments. He's calling in. Johnny Dean, how you doing, brother? It's the professor.
How you doing, guys?
Good.
What a day, man. And the last caller had everything right except for he called it an ugly game. Dude, whenever you beat a division rival like that, that is a beautiful sight.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It does not get much prettier, I think, than a game like that. So I mean, I'm Johnny. Those are professionals on the other side of the ball.
Absolutely.
And people forget that. People tend to look at it and go, oh, they had injuries or they had this or they had that. Listen, man, they're coming at you as professionals and you're doing your best. There's not a huge gap. Tell me if you agree with this. There's not a huge gap between the best teams and the worst teams. There's a gap.
Oh man, you can slide a dollar bill between the gap. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just some teams can pull it out and other teams just aren't able to. And it's that little bit. I mean, how many games did the Bucs lose by less than 7 last year? I think it was.
Oh man, count.
Yeah, and I mean, I forgot the number, but I think it was like 7. Yeah, 7 of their games that they lost was by less than 7 points. That's less than a touchdown. If you improve by 1 touchdown in each of those games, think about it. I mean, it's a pretty big. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. So
5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries today for the defense. That's there's nothing to complain about there. I'm sorry. I don't care who was playing out of position or who was a little bit rusty. This is the second game of the year without OTAs and minicamps.
Yep.
That defense is on track to be awesome.
Yep. No, absolutely. I agree completely. I mean, listen, if this team stays on this pathway, right there, they got a little better. If you see consistent improvement week to week to week, what's this going to look like in a few weeks? I mean, it's really hard to complain. And I think we got some difficult games right now. So I think when you see what's coming down the pike, 4 or 5 weeks from now, I think the schedule eases up a little bit. And
I was just yawning. I agree with you, dude.
Yeah,
100%. The Denver game, I think that defense is something you still have to watch out for.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough game.
Every game they played this year, I give them credit. The quarterback's down. They lost a lot of people today, but still, you can't count that out because those guys are going to be hungry and they're hurting, dude. They're hurting. They've lost 2 games straight by less than a touchdown. You know what I mean?
Listen, you can never count a team out. If you don't believe me, ask Kansas City what they're thinking about the Chargers right now.
Oh man, what a game! Dude, the Chargers could have had that game. I'm not going to say that they would have made their 4th and goal, but there's no way I would have gave up the ball on a 4th and 1.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Yeah, 4th and 1. Yeah, I agree. And I think it was it Tony Romo was on the coverage, and I think that's who it was. It might have been no, I think it was Romo, but whoever it was,
I don't know. I had sound down.
Yeah, whoever it was saying the same thing. They were like, they need to go for this. They need to go for this, and I was like, yeah, they need to do that. So,
and one other thing about our offensive line did a lot better today.
Yeah,
and they did that without their best blocker outside of the lineman. Auclair was out of the game today, and without him, that's a big gap when he's not blocking in there.
Yeah, the tight ends did not play well last week either. So I look, you saw improvements on special teams, although the punt returns, I'm still terrified. I'm terrified every time they're punting the ball.
I don't like the special teams at all. The best thing that can happen is we get those touchbacks every time because I don't want to see Minkins or whatever his name,
Mickens,
whatever his name. I don't want to see him try to run the ball out. He's going to cough it up.
But every punt,
in his eyes when he's looking at the ball, man.
Every punt, I'm terrified. Every time there's a punt, I'm like, oh no. Every punt. It just absolutely, I'm horrified every time they're I don't know. Constance brings this up. Constance says, how about Jordan Whitehead start off the first quarter? Jordan Whitehead to start off the first quarter. He had a great first quarter. Listen, and you know who we're not talking about?
Will Golson.
No. Antoine Winfield Jr. That guy needs to. I mean, what a game! I think he had a huge game. He caused the first fumble. I mean, he was. That guy was a beast. I think he had a sack or a pressure.
I think we take Winfield Jr. for granted now because he's always been talked about. But Golson's had two really great games back to back, and nobody says nothing about him.
And I agree with you, Johnny. I think he's a good player. I think he's just solid. That's a guy who just. When's the last time you heard about him offsides? When's the last time you heard about anything bad from Will Golson? It's always good. Whenever you hear from him, it's good.
He's getting the friend zone treatment, man. He's like Levante David. He's doing some spectacular stuff, and nobody even pays attention to it.
Yeah. It's not sexy. He's not doing the sexy stuff. He's just solidly performing and never screwing up. Yeah, the boyfriend, the friend zone. Yep.
And I have to give it to Constance too. She's the one that brought up Will Golson too.
Yeah, Constance. Good. Constance, call in, Constance. I mean, that's
yeah. Hey, dude,
we want some. I want some women to. Yeah, I want women to call. I want to hear because that's a different voice. I don't want to hear that voice. I really do. I want to hear a different perspective. So,
all right, man, that's it for me. I'm not going to be like the dude and say I'll be off of here real quick 5 times in a row. I'm going to get off here right now. See you later.
All right, we'll call back later. All right, that was Johnny Dean, the professor. You gotta love. We got great callers here. I gotta say, I love that. We do have some great callers, but I do want to hear from you. Come on, talk to me. Give me a call. The phone number is 678 talk to me 678-825-5263. I do want to hear from you guys. This was there's so much to talk about from this game, like the missing in action tight ends. What happened to that? Where were they? I mean, it's weird when they showed up. It usually wasn't good news. I don't know where Cam Braid is. I mean, he may be doing a great job blocking. That's very possible. I never see the guy. OJ Howard, I didn't really see much from OJ Howard. Did he saw a little bit early, mostly. Then again, the offense, that's all you saw were things early. You didn't see it later on. So I don't know. Andrew Faubert. How about them Falcons, Rick? End of the Dan Quinn era. I actually have it in my notes to say that exact thing. Andrew, I agree completely. There is that. Wow. That team knows how to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. It's phenomenal. I mean, they are experts at it. Hold on. We got a call here. Hey, this is Rick. Who am I speaking with?
It's that crazy guy in Oklahoma again.
Matt, talk to me.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention the dude said we haven't had a running back since All-Star to close a game. Whatever was the deal with Michael Pittman? Pittman was a truck.
That was at the same time as All-Star. That was the same time as All-Star. That was during the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, but the All-Star had his neck broke or something.
That was
that time. When
no. That was after that, wasn't it? All-Star. I think the next season is when All-Star got hurt. I think Pittman was gone.
Don't ask me to remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Well, you were calling him out. You were calling out the dude, and actually, I think he was right on this one. I think he was right on this one.
He might have been.
Yeah.
I'm just a little biased. I think there was somebody after All-Star, and I'm a huge All-Star fan. That's the only team player I ever bought a jersey of.
I think there were people who showed flashes. We had people who showed flashes. Muscle Hamster showed flashes. We had some guys who Cadillac Williams, you saw flashes, but you really, I mean, nobody that could close out a game. All-Star, you knew all you had to do was hand the ball to him. He was going to chug through, maybe not break a long run, although he broke a lot more long runs than people realize, but he was going to get you the first down and keep the clock moving. And that's what this team lacks.
Well, I agree with you on that.
Until today,
All-Star would carry 5 guys 7 yards just to eat up clock, which was If you see his YouTube videos where they show highlight films, the guy was as good as Earl Campbell as far as carrying
half a team down the field.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw if you saw the press conference or not at the after the game with Fournette, but one of the things he said is he was attempting to just get as many yards as he could and then make sure he went down before he went out of bounds. And all of a sudden there's nobody in front of him. I mean,
well, that last run he made, Michael Evans blew it open.
Yeah.
And once he come through that little bitty crease, and Evans was in the right place, blocking the right guy, the right direction, and Fournette knew where to run in that situation.
Evans had a heck of a game. Evans had a heck of a
run
game.
themselves right into the safety.
Yeah,
and he didn't do that.
Yeah, Evans had one heck of a game. I'm very happy.
He made up for last week big time.
Yeah. Well, last week wasn't bad.
The back shoulder thing on his first touchdown.
Last week wasn't bad, and that's the thing is he had he had a 100-yard game basically. Just they were pass interferences instead of catches. I mean, you can't catch the ball if the guy's dragging you down.
DraftKings, he cost you.
Well, okay.
If you're a fantasy guy, he cost you, and I give you that he had 75 or 80 yards on a pass interference that moved the ball, but he didn't get credit for.
Yeah, but I'm not talking DraftKings. I'm talking real football. I mean that's Mike Evans had a good game last week. My problem with Mike Evans is just the constant crying, and you notice this is proof that Lattimore is just in Evans' head. You didn't see Evans complaining about anything this week, did you? You didn't see him crying for a pass interference. You didn't see him acting like a little baby. You saw him out there playing football, right? I mean, he wasn't a little crybaby. I mean, Mike Evans drives me nuts with constantly wanting pass interferences, constantly wanting, he's always complaining. And this week, nothing.
If he went out and catch, everything's a flag.
Right. And not this week. Not this week. Hey Matt, I got another call. I got another call coming in. Let me grab this. Call me back in a little bit.
I will.
Okay. Thanks, Matt. Hey, this is Rick. Talk to me. Who am I speaking with?
This is Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Eric from Lakeland, Florida.
How you doing, Eric?
How about the Bucs today, huh?
How about that? How about that?
Sure.
What? Tell me what you were thinking.
It was getting a little close. I was like, hey, can we ever have a blowout game? Without no stress.
Yeah.
We got that field goal, and then we got that pick.
How about the kicker? How about our kicker? How about Suck Up?
Yeah, I mean, I think he wasn't 100% last year, and he was 1 for 6, and that showed last year. But it looks like he's 100%. Besides that blocked field goal, he's looked good.
There's a whole lot of relief, isn't there, when you see it? I mean, when he's out there kicking, you don't feel that same thing that I think as a Bucs fan for years, there has to be this knot in your stomach when a kicker comes out to kick. And I just don't think that's there. Even as extra points, they tend to be dead center. I mean, it's a whole different experience. It feels like you can have some bit of confidence on short to medium range field goals.
Yeah, I think he made like 50 straight under 50. I mean, he can make the long kicks, but hopefully we're closer to the end zone, so he doesn't have to do that.
Yeah,
or you go for it.
Yeah, absolutely, Eric. Absolutely. That it? That what you got?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're here. We're here. If you think of something else, give us a call back.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
All right, Eric from Lakeland. Looking at the comments. Mike Cooper, I love watching the defense. I'm a defensive fan. Give them boys a standing ovation. I agree completely. Everybody talks about defensive football as boring football. I love defensive football. I mean, I really loved games that were 17-14, games like that were gritty, that kind of stuff. I loved that kind of stuff. Absolutely. Constance, 250 pounds, running away from everyone to score. Yeah, absolutely, Constance. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. And Dave Whitescarver. Dave, my buddy Dave, he was on the show last week. We should draft a kicker in the second round so we don't have to worry about a kicker anymore. Dave, go away. Go away, Dave. I mean, you're You get it already.
Walk the plank.
You're out of here. Now, yeah, Eric, I'm not sure. Is this Eric from Lakeland or not? I don't know. But yeah, Eric 10-6. I said 11-5, 10-6. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think I think we're in the same general ballpark. I think there are going to be some times where you're going to leave some games are going to end and you're going to look at it and you're going to say, oh no, that wasn't so good. And, especially at the beginning of the season. But by the end of this year, if this team, the communication grows, Arians said it today in his press conference. Arians said that it's going to happen, that probably by November. He said they're not going to be the same team in September that they're going to be in November. And I think you can count on that. I think when everything's clicking, when everybody knows where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be, when everybody's on the same page, it's going to be pretty awesome. I really think it's going to be something. I am so excited about the kicker. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am about a kicker. It's sad that I'm that excited about a kicker, but I am. I think I also want to say this. Chris Godwin was out injured today and he earned his contract next year. I think you could see how much the Buccaneers missed Chris Godwin. I think he was Chris Godwin didn't play and he was impressive today. There was a huge gaping hole in that offense without him. I think what would the score have been if you had Chris Godwin in this game? Think about that. I mean, I think he was sorely missed. I'd love to hear Johnny Dean talk about this. Okay, Breakdancer says 12-4 team. Could be. I said 11-5. Somebody said 10-6. You're saying 12-4. We're all in that ballpark. We are all in the ballpark. Okay, I started the Bucs defense and put the Ravens on that was a gutsy move. Put the Ravens on the bench today. It only cost me 1 point. Well worth it. Good move. Good move. I mean, I'm with all of the Broncos that are injured. Here's the qualification. Now, this is very, very important. If everybody plays to their potential, I think the Buccaneers walk out with a win. The key, if everybody plays to their potential, that's the big question. In those pewter uniforms, I really hope that they do. I want to take a second here real quick and tell you guys about something that's going to be on Tuesdays coming up starting in a few weeks. Starting in a few weeks, we're going to have a new show here on Tuesday nights called What's Cooking in the South. And it's going to be a discussion of the NFC South. The screen's going to be divided into quadrants. You're going to have one person, me, representing Tampa. We're going to have somebody from the Saints, somebody from the Panthers, and somebody from the Falcons, if they'll show up. They may drop out halfway through the show because, well, that's what Falcons do. But, we're going to find out whether or not I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun show. We can all, we can all give each other a hard time. We can all brag a little bit and get news from around the league from those cities, because you always hear different things when you're in those cities. But look, guys, you got to be happy at this point. You've got to be happy about everything that went on. I mean, okay. Bandwagon fans, all of you who dropped off last week, all of you who said, oh man, this sucks, same old Buccaneers, oh no, we suck again. All of you who feel that way, welcome back. Welcome back. You're welcome to come back. I know you're going to jump back off next week if they lose, but that's okay. Listen, there's plenty of room on this bandwagon for a whole lot of people. Come on in, have some fun, join us and cheer, but try and stick around. All right. Eric says, do I think Chris Godwin will clear concussion protocol by Thursday or Friday? I mean, I would think he would. If they had him on the field with a helmet on practicing on, I think it was Friday, my guess is he'll be back, but it's a guess. The NFL, or there's an independent person who decides whether or not a player comes back from concussion. It's different than if it's an ankle or, a hamstring or something. This is an independent person that the league has that makes that decision. So I sure hope he comes back because I believe he is very, very valuable. And if Johnny Dean was around, I wish Johnny would call because I would love to talk to him about just how important Chris Godwin proved himself to be today. Anyway, it says, yeah, he needed a few more days to clear protocol. Yeah, I think that's true. Absolutely. All right, Myrna. Imagine if Miller and McCoy don't drop the ball in the end zone. Yeah, I agree. And that's why this game was not even as close as it looked. And you have to understand, and Myrna's right. It's going to take a couple weeks until all of that is clicking. And I mean, when you're up 21-0 and somebody drops a pass and your quarterback is hot under the collar, he's mad. That says a lot. Hold on. We got Johnny Dean. Ask and you shall receive. Thank you for calling, Johnny.
There you go. Yeah, the Godwin situation,
yeah,
he is extremely valuable because we've seen today Mike Evans in the slot.
Yeah.
That means that the other two guys, Watson and Scotty, weren't up for it.
This is why I wanted you to call because I mean you messaged me about this about Evans in the slot and the other guys. We need Chris Godwin in the slot. Okay, I mean that's a game-changing difference maker. I mean, I honestly believe, and I'm telling you, I'll admit it, I was wrong. Okay. I said after this year, Godwin would probably, I don't know how they're going to afford him. They have to find a way. And even, I mean, if you have to lose, don't everybody freak out. If you have to lose one of the receivers, either Evans or Godwin, at this point, I don't even want to say it.
Yeah, don't say Evans because Evans played slot, outside, inside, everywhere today. Evans was all over the place.
But at some point you can't afford.
One man show today. You saw that, right?
Yes.
And they had to use the running backs to relieve that stuff. Our wide receiver core, which is supposed to be our strength, just got exposed right there.
Well, what do you do though? What do you do? Because I mean, there's only so much money to go around. I mean, it's Evans can't restructure again.
I'll leave that to them to work out. They can front load contracts. They can use the bonuses.
Yeah, look at New Orleans, right?
That don't count against the cap to pay off. Like what the Saints, not the Saints, but oh crap, the team that just got the Rams. Well, the Rams just did.
Yeah, you're right.
You're
right. Breakdancer Kiyoshi said, "Why doesn't Cameron Brate play? I don't even know if he's playing or not. I don't know if he's blocking. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where he is, but he's completely missing."
Cameron was out. Cameron was out of the game today. I didn't see him not one time in there, and I think somebody said he was out of the game. Or
I thought somebody made a comment that they saw him, but I didn't see him. So I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. It was. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for that. He's just completely missing in action. And with all of the preseason work at Berkeley Prep and everything, you thought that this was going to be a connection that would make some sense. I thought it was going to be.
Even with that work, there's still 400 reps left off the field, dude. That's 4 games.
Yes, but if you're still putting the players out there that also didn't get the reps and weren't as active at Berkeley Prep. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's because the coaching saw that they were ahead of the game or something.
Yeah,
so something's going on because they're not going to put the worst player out there.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. I'm going to add Blake Anthony here. Okay.
All right.
Blake, are you there, brother?
Relax.
How you doing, Blake?
Good, man. I just want to jump off for a minute and let Johnny finish, then I'll jump in after him.
Okay, you want to hang out and wait?
No, I can stay right here. I was going to let Johnny.
I'm done. Go ahead and let Blake talk.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Johnny. Okay, Blake.
What's going on, Rick? Just want to jump on a little bit because you asked the question. He's like, so what do we do as far as our wide receiver position? Because I think everybody's in agreement here. If Godwin's not there, the play behind that is not good. It is not good at all. And only people that sufficed that was the running backs. Thankfully, Fournette had a great day catching the pass.
Yeah. So did Shady. Other than one play.
I was gonna say Shady had a great day except for the drop.
Yep.
Which is on him, and he got chewed out for it, rightfully so.
Yep.
So to answer your question, when you say, what do you do for that? That's where Byron Leftwich has to come in, and you start creating things that they did in New England. And I showed this before, when Brady first came in. You run rub routes. You got to run pick plays to free these guys up from that man coverage. You got to run stuff like that to free guys up.
Good point.
Yep, and they're not doing that. You're still trying to run a vertical offense with your offensive line. Well, your left tackle still being shaky at times, and you can't get the ball downfield like you want to in that offense because of your protection. But
Right.
I think that's what you got to do. You got to find ways to help these receivers get open because they can't do it on their own. So you got to formulate a game plan for those guys to get open. And if you don't, everybody's going to keep running that same man coverage every week. Denver's going to do it again. You'll see it again. And I'll talk about it more on Monday when I go live at 3 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, tell them about your show.
Yep, Sports Stuff 49, 3 p.m. post game. Just like Rick, just going to go into more depth with some other stuff. And I'll be in the daytime while you guys are at work. So you guys.
What he's trying to say nicely is that he's smarter than me, and he is. He breaks it down a lot more than me.
Yeah.
This is what information I have. A lot of it I get from him. So that's where I get a lot of my info is from Blake.
Oh man, he's so modest, man. Rick's a genius. He just likes to make me feel good.
Genius. Yeah, it's nice somebody thinks so.
Well, you talking about the guys in the cheap seats? They know it all up there. What you talking about?
Well, we just have a better time. I don't know that we know it all, but we know how to talk like we do, and we have a good time. Hey, Mike Cooper said to go deep for the score, yes, but we have enough talent to keep chunking away 3 or 4 yards at a pop.
Yep.
With a good defense until you get plenty of opportunities to score 7 or a field goal. And this is what I think. This is why I think the wide receivers are not as important in a Brady offense. Why having both of them is not as important. I don't think you need to have that. I think you need a really good slot receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you need one guy who can go deep. And I mean that's what and just somebody else solid. But and then I just don't know what to think about the tight ends. I don't know. They're really seriously, they should be on a milk carton. I don't see them. I don't know where they are.
Yep, they're all missing. I saw Brait line up at fullback and just do pass protection.
Yeah,
that's not the first sighting since last week. OJ Howard is still being OJ Howard, can't catch passes. So we're seeing it's not Jameis Winston that couldn't connect with him. It's OJ Howard because you still can't connect with Tom Brady.
Yeah,
they're eliminating Gronk, and like I said, I keep beating the dead horse. But until you can find ways to get these guys to get open, you're gonna keep seeing these guys not catch any passes.
I'm not sure how much Gronk doesn't eliminate himself at this point. I just don't know that he's. I just don't know that he's ready for this year.
It's hard to say, and that's really good. I'm gonna really look at it more in depth once the All 22 comes out. And I'm gonna really find out the answer. Is it really him, or is he really helping out that much where he's not getting downfield? Because you don't really see him running downfield too much. He's really at the line of scrimmage most of the time. I mean, like, is the protection that? I mean, is the line that bad that he needs to help out that much? I mean, I know on one side we all know that he needs help, and he struggled again today.
Well, you know what's different though, and this is what is different from Jameis. And I really don't want to turn this into yet another Jameis show, but one of the things that's different is you don't see Brady forcing the ball to the guy he wants to get it to.
Correct.
Like sometimes if let's say Evans had a bad game, Winston would be really wanting to make sure Evans didn't have another bad game. So he'd just be forcing the ball to him. And you don't see that happening. And that's more encouraging to me than I think just about anything. I mean, when they were going in at it was at the half, I think it was. And I turned to my buddies who I was watching the game with, and I said, right here is the time that there would be a pick six. And I mean, or right at the end of the game when there was, when Fournette took it.
Right.
I mean, that in years past, that was the time that they tried to throw an out and it got taken back for a pick six. I mean, or over the middle, and he threw it right to a linebacker. So, and this is not about Winston. Okay. I don't want to talk about Winston. I don't want to go there, everybody. I want to talk about Brady and the fact that he doesn't do that. And he made wise decisions. Imperfect. He's new still with this team, imperfect, but look what he did.
Yeah, you make a good point because me and Ray said the same thing too. Where he was, I think it was that same drive where he threw it to Shady that he dropped. It was that drive he kept throwing it to Fournette underneath.
Yep.
I was like, Ray, watch Brady's eyes. He doesn't trust the receivers anymore, so he's gonna keep throwing to these backs. And I say he just lines up, takes the snap downfield, goes straight to Fournette. Let him beat the one-on-one and get the yards. I say he's not trusting these wide receivers anymore to throw an interception. He's just gonna dink and dunk those yards. If Leftwich wants to call on these vertical passes, he's just gonna throw it to the outlet and take the yards. And that's exactly what you said. Not gonna force that ball in those deep routes when you know these receivers aren't having a good game, and just give it to the guy that's been hot, and that's Leonard Fournette, both in run and passing game.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they sent Scotty Miller deep. I mean, I don't know if that was just because, if that's because Godwin was out and they were using him differently. I don't know, but it just seemed like they were not sending Scotty Miller deep.
The crazy thing is that all this preseason hype about Scotty Miller in camp, like he's kind of disappeared, man, as far as these games go.
Granted, he didn't last week. Last week he was pretty good.
I mean, he's got those pass interference down the sideline when he's got one-on-one. But I really
had some key first downs last week.
I mean, we really thought he was going to go more vertical than underneath. I mean, it seems like that's where he's best utilized, because he's not really a jump ball kind of guy. He's not going to have 50-50 balls like Edelman and many other receivers that played with him.
Yeah.
So you got, it's like I said, Leftwich has got to really figure out what he wants to do. If you really want to start listening to Brady and figure out to get these guys open, you still want to run this vertical passing game, because I think running this vertical game is making the offense a lot harder than it needs to be.
Yeah. Hey, Blake, you want to hang around for a second? I have to go pay some bills.
You got to pay some bills.
Yeah, we got to pay some bills. You want to hang out for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna send you back to the lobby.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we will be back in just a minute, just a couple of minutes here. Take a quick break. I'm going to get a drink of water, and I will see you back here shortly.
Going solar with 320 may cost you nothing down, but the work we do is not a $0 job. With a 10-year roof penetration warranty and solar panels guaranteed for 25 years, you can have peace of mind knowing we will do the job right every time without question. .320 Solar. Power up.
All right, welcome back to Live from the Cheap Seats, powered up by 320 Solar. Get rid of your power bill. Nothing out of pocket until 2022. You can own your power instead of renting it. Just go to 320solar.com and get a hold of that current promotion. Nothing out of pocket till 2022. Let's bring back Blake Anthony. Hey, Blake.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, Blake. So I really have a question for you. Where's Shaq Barrett?
He's gotten a lot of pressures. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. He's not going to have 19 and a half sacks. Nobody that's led the league in sacks with those numbers have repeated that same number.
Right.
I expect him to get about 9 or 10 sacks this year, but he's getting pressures. He's making great plays in the run game. Last week he got his hand on a screen pass and almost picked it. So he's there. It's just not what the stat everybody expected him to get. Expect him to be at. But
yeah, he had a pretty big pressure near the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I saw. That was pretty, that was a pretty big pressure and caused him to throw it away. So that was
So he's there. It's just I think everybody's just so used to him having all them sacks from last year, and everybody's still in the awe moment. But it's just if the whole team defense is playing well, I mean, individual stats really shouldn't matter. And I don't think any of those guys honestly care. They care about the one stat that's most important, and it was the win.
Was there a change in defensive scheme are they doing different? It seems to me like they're doing some pretty different things this year. I mean, every time I look up, I'm seeing JPP in coverage. I mean, I'm like, what in the world's going on?
Correct. They are dropping Jason Pierre-Paul back 2 weeks in a row into coverage to help.
Yeah.
I guess to help cover some of those underneath routes. I don't believe that's going to. Well, let me not say that because you're playing another back next week. And Melvin Gordon, who does have pass catching ability,
and they're going to need to use him if they've got
So that I noticed he's been doing that 2 weeks in a row with pretty much the same back from week 1 to week 2, from Alvin Kamara to Christian McCaffrey, pretty much the same guy, and they're helping out trying to cover the underneath stuff when the back comes out the backfield, and in that it's holding up the pass rush a little bit with the guys getting there because you don't have both your stud guys coming off the edge, but. All in all, it's a good scheme, but the other guys have to produce. That's just what you got to do in football, regardless of the game plan. You still got all the other guys that need to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, and what's with the drop passes? I mean, there were a lot of drop passes today. I mean, is this just something, okay, it happened today, but I mean, Arians was talking about, well, it was windy. I think he was just kind of trying to cover. I mean, that didn't even ring remotely true. I mean, sure, maybe it was windy, but you better be able to catch the ball in Tampa.
I know everybody's excuse every week is not the O2Ks and the 400 reps. I'm just over that, and I'm not using that as excuse anymore.
Right.
Because I watch everybody else, everywhere else is making these catches.
Right.
I watch the Carolina Panthers make some unbelievable catches. And it doesn't seem to be bothering them. So why is it only bothering Tampa Bay? So I call it lack of taking advantage of your opportunities, like Scotty Miller, LaShawn McCoy, Justin Watson, and these guys. Like they have to elevate their play. I mean, it went all offseason to Brady's going to elevate everybody's game. He's going to hold everybody accountable. Well, these guys aren't helping Brady exactly. Like we thought he would. Maybe these guys just aren't that good.
Blake, who's on this team that can return punts? Who is on this team that can return punts?
Oh, Mickens. Me and Peter said that several times. He's a turnover waiting to happen, and I just hope when it happens, it's not in the key critical point in the game to say I told you so. I mean, I want to be wrong, but I'm just being honest. I see it's coming. It's just a matter of time, and the loss of TJ Logan is killing the team at that position.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Blake. I appreciate it, my friend.
Oh no, always. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Rick, you can jump on if you want.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. Thanks, Blake.
Yep. See you, Rick.
That is Blake Anthony. You see him on Sports Talk 49 here on Bucs Report. I mean, this guy he knows how to break it down. I mean, I've gotten so much good information from him. And if I ever say anything that sounds like I know what I'm talking about, it's usually from Blake or Nick or Joshua or one of those guys. I don't know if you're able to see the game going on now, but apparently there's there's a fight going on the sidelines. Somebody want to let me know what that's all about? Call in, please. My phone number is 678 talk to me 678-825-5263. And yeah, I want to hear from you. You guys, you ought to be happy. Come on. You ought to be happy. Why are you guys so quiet? This is time to be throwing a party. This is time to be happy. Hey, Johnny Dean.
Yeah, I just saw that fight. That was hilarious. Stephon Gilmore going over to and starting crap on the sideline with the Seattle.
Oh,
the entire
okay.
Seattle
I wasn't
team.
sure what happened. I just looked up and saw a fight on the sidelines. I was like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, he was tackling the guy out on the sidelines there on Seattle side, and then just slammed him over into the Seattle players, and the whole team came out after him.
Okay. What's the score in the game right now?
7. Oh, they just scored. So Seattle just scored. So it's 2017 right now, and they'll have to kick an extra point.
Okay. So it'd be 21-17, assuming they hit it and Seattle's winning 21-17.
They just went up. Actually, they had been behind.
Right. But now it'll be 21-17?
Absolutely.
Okay. Excellent.
As far as the pressures that Shaq's getting, I was going to say something about that too. And I think I'm not sure because I was watching the game. I don't know if Blake covered it. He probably did. But anyhow, we're getting a lot more cornerback blitzes and safety blitzes. That's what we're using a lot.
Right.
And in cornerback and safety blitzes, you drop the ends into coverage, and that's why you're not seeing the pass rush like we saw last year from Shaq and JPP.
That's the comment I made.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny about that, Johnny, is they're not going to have to pay him as much if the stats aren't as sexy.
He's still getting his touches though. He's getting his tackles and stuff on the inside. It's a lot of pressures, man. Shaq's got a lot of pressures already this year in just 2 games.
Yeah,
I think he's like at 12 pressures. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. If he's got 12 pressures, that's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that much.
I guarantee you they're going to let Shaq go after his whole team next week.
Oh yeah,
I expect Shaq,
yeah.
I expect Shaq to have a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, I sure hope so. I mean, that's the time to do it. What happened in the second half? Because I mean, it seemed like when they came out in the second half, I don't know if this team is cocky. You know, I mean, they haven't done anything to be cocky, but it just seems like they just.
I said
like
it on Peter's show today, and I'll repeat it until I'm blue in the face, I guess. But they played their asses off in the first half.
Yeah,
they have missed 4 games of workouts. Okay. They're not game speed ready yet for the whole season.
Well, how come Carolina was ready for 4 quarters?
I've been the same way.
Why was Carolina ready for 4 quarters?
They weren't. They weren't ready for the first quarter.
Well, but they had. It wasn't because of conditioning.
They weren't ready for the first half.
It wasn't because of conditioning. Conditioning was a problem in the second half when you come out after resting. I don't know.
They went out there lethargic as hell, man. And after halftime, they came. I guess they got their asses chewed and came out with a little bit more pep in their step. But
yeah,
it's every team's nobody's put on a full 4 quarters except for Ravens and Chiefs last week.
Yeah.
Those the only 2 teams that I've seen a full 4 quarters out of.
You know, it's funny though. Everybody talked about, the Chiefs look unbeatable. Everything's unbeatable. This is what everybody does after week 1. They all freak out. If you have a good game in week 1, you come out, you win by a bunch. Everybody thinks you've got the Super Bowl in the bag. And then they struggled against the Chargers today. And the Chargers are okay. I'm not trying to cut down the Chargers, but they're okay. I mean,
Chargers had a great game plan against the Chiefs. They've been studying that for a while, I imagine.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think the game went a little sideways when they ended up with Herbert, so I don't know.
Yeah, Herbert might be their guy. I don't.
He's not coming out.
Job now.
Yeah, he's not coming out. He won the job.
No.
Yeah, he's not coming out. You're gonna give that kid as much work as you can now. He's shown he can handle it. They're definitely gonna do that. What about the NFC South though? I mean, I'm not
Newton's looking good tonight, dude.
Well, I'm not going to give you a hard time here about Atlanta. I mean, I understood, and I was thinking the same thing you were at the time. So, but let's talk about the NFC South in general. Okay, let's go through it now. First of all, the Saints tomorrow night. I know Peter thinks there's a really good shot that the Raiders are going to beat the Saints. I just don't see it.
I do not see that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. I don't see it.
I mean, I guess the only reason it might happen, maybe, is because it's the first game in the stadium. They're going to be jacked up, extra energy, but there aren't even fans in the crowd. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, that first game in the stadium thing, that don't work. How many times have the Giants shut down Dallas in their home stadium? They closed out the Dallas old stadium and then gave them a loss on their first game in the new stadium.
The Bucs did it at Lincoln Financial. The Bucs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand.
That whole opening thing.
I'm
that's
just
more
saying
of a jinx than anything else. You want to look at it like that.
You're probably right, and that's why I'm I guess that's why I'm saying I don't see how it's going to be a thing. I don't. I just don't. I don't know. I don't see how.
And also, the Saints are used to being inside. They're going to be inside, so it's advantage Saints. Saints have the veteran team.
Yeah.
Just they don't need those 4 games because they're already ready. They're already a veteran team that's cohesive. They played together for a decade.
Yeah.
There's not a big learning curve for those guys, man.
No, I think you're right. And that's why I'm. I hope we're wrong. Okay, so that's the Saints. The Saints will be 2-0. And now let's look at the Falcons.
I don't really care if they win or not because I want this team not to be looked at like, oh well, look who they won against, or look who they beat, I want them to beat teams that are supposed to be powerhouses. I want them to beat them on equal footing. I want a team that people in history aren't going to look at and say, well, but they didn't play nobody. Bull crap.
Listen, I just want them to win. I'm not that picky.
Right.
I'm not that picky.
Yeah, well, I'm all through history. I've always had to hear all that crap about the 2002 Bucs. They wanted to put an asterisk by them because John Gruden knew the playbook and this and that.
Yeah, dude. Does that really taint that Super Bowl win for you? That doesn't.
When we go again, there's not going to be any excuses. We're going to go in there and we're going to kick whoever's in our way's ass.
There's always excuses, man. Somebody's gonna have an excuse. I don't pay that I promise you, whether Gruden was with the Raiders the year before or not, does not taint that victory at all for me. I love that year. That's a fantastic year to be a Bucs fan. You want to talk trash about that year? Go ahead. You did worse than we did. Bye-bye. I mean,
exactly.
I have nothing to say to those people. They're idiots. Don't never argue with an idiot. They'll just
another point of that contention is I want a real serious rivalry in this division.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I wanted to go through. I mean, I wanted to talk to you about each of the teams because the Falcons, it just doesn't look like that's going to happen. I mean, once again, and the Panthers, good game, but they were more hateable. 4 or 5 years ago, I hated the Panthers. Then now I just kind of all right. I mean, I don't hate Bridgewater. Cam Newton was easy to hate. You can respect a guy and still hate him.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, while I didn't like Cam Newton and I could hate the Panthers, there's nobody in the division that I look at and go, oh man, I hate them. The closest thing would be the Saints because the way Lattimore talks and Cam Jordan talks and that sort of thing. But until you beat them, it's not much of a rivalry.
Well, for me, that rivalry is I've already been there. From the first game we won against them. That's when it started for me with Archie Manning running his mouth about those piece of crap Bucs.
They are way too here's the thing. If you lived here in Atlanta, you would know what the rivalry was like. I mean, they really do. There's a rivalry between Atlanta and New Orleans. I mean, it's nothing compared by comparison. It really is. I mean,
right. I know
the Buccaneers.
That.
The Buccaneers had more of one against Philly.
Away.
They had one with Philly
Atlanta
for a couple
has been
years.
a thorn in the Saints' side for some reason.
Yeah.
When Atlanta plays like crap, they're still good against the Saints, and I don't get that.
Right. What they did, if you notice, I mean, like for a few years, Philadelphia was a rival. Those were big games, and it seemed like they were playing every year in big games, and that. But you can't maintain a rivalry that's not in your division. And I just don't see one coming. I don't see one coming anytime soon. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like all the real rivalries are teams who've been around for years and years and years. It doesn't seem like any of the newer teams. Can you name any real big rivalries for Tennessee or Seattle or any of the newer teams? There just aren't any.
Seattle and San Francisco was a good rivalry, and I think it still is, actually.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I think it's okay. I wouldn't put it like the rivalries you see in the NFC East. Those are rivalries. But,
well,
I don't know.
are they? Come on, man. Are they really? They're poor. They're bad games. A good rivalry has everybody in the nation turned in, like Seattle, Pittsburgh, and the Ravens. You watch that game, no matter
that's
what.
A rivalry.
You're turning that game on.
No, I agree with you, and that's why you and I had the conversation about whether Pittsburgh and Cleveland were a rivalry, and I said to you, I think Pittsburgh and the Ravens. And I know you're there. You're in Pittsburgh, so you certainly would know more than than me.
I'm in Pittsburgh, and I live with a Ravens fan.
Yeah,
so.
from the outside, it seems to me like it's the Ravens. And by the way, I was saying it. Watch Pittsburgh this year.
I still don't see. I'm not intimidated by Pittsburgh this year. I'd give them a couple more drafts, and because they've got some positions to replace. Their safety positions are weak.
Okay.
Although they did get
weak is relative.
They got one safety position this week. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. They got their corners. I think we got the. I don't see their corners being intimidating. They have two line. They got two line positions that are scary, and then two that really you don't think about at all.
Right. I don't know. Johnny, I'm going to run. I got Frank from 320 Solar on, and I want to talk to him a little bit about today's game.
All right, bud.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you for calling. All right. We have now get to add in here Frank. Frank, how you doing, brother?
Good. How about yourself?
I am doing good. It's hard to have much of a better day, isn't it?
That's right. The Bucs got to win.
It's a beautiful thing. All right, Frank. Frank, well, first of all, before we get started talking about the game, talk a little bit about the promotion that you have going right now with 320 Solar.
Well, you can go solar for $0 out of pocket with 320 Solar. We've done more than 2,000 homes in the state of Florida over the last few years. So we got what it takes. We got a great group of people, staff, 3 locations throughout the whole Tampa Bay area. And we would love to help you go solar. And we got a great promotion where if you go solar with us in the month of September, you won't have any payments till January 22. That's basically almost a year and 4 or 5 months of no payments that you'll have to pay. You'll pay less than your electric bill anyways. It'll save you a ton of money, and it's $0 out of pocket. You literally sign a few pieces of paper and we'll get you set up for solar. And then you can tell your electric company the good news.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like the way you said you can own your power, not rent it. I like that.
Right.
That's pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
So tell me about the game today. You had a good time watching the game?
Yeah, I thought we played obviously fairly well. We do still have some cleaning up to do on both sides of the ball. But at the end of the day, I think we let them back in the game. But we handled them pretty well on both sides of the ball. I mean, we could have caught a couple more touchdowns. Scotty Miller could have caught a touchdown. McCoy could have caught a touchdown. We dropped a couple passes. We had the fumble, 5 passes
that I saw.
Yeah, and 2 of those were touchdowns.
Right.
We had the fumble handoff between Brady and the running back there. Was it Fournette or was it the other guy?
I think it was Rojo.
Okay. But I thought we played good, and I think again, still it's sloppy a little bit, but still a win. And the defense got a lot of turnovers, so there's a lot of more things to build on. But let's not sleep on this because Denver's right around the corner.
Yeah. I mean, it's that's a scary game. It really is. I mean, they've got a defense. Everybody's talking about how Driscoll is in there. And they've got a lot of injuries. Listen, man, these guys are all professionals. I mean, there were injuries today. But the thing is, you saw improvement, and that's the thing that I'm most excited about. I think, Frank, is this team improved, and really that's what you needed to see. I mean, this is a new team together, and they're getting better. Now, if they improve a little bit next week, forget the outcome for a second. Just let's just set that aside. If they improve next week, I mean, you've got to be excited about where this season's headed.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't, there was some question marks about some play calls for the first week. I think there was some great plays drawn up in this game, but execution was a little bit of the situation with drop passes and some miscues. I'd love to see our tight ends get more involved. Obviously, we've seen really nothing happening with them other than last week we had O.J. Howard catch the touchdown. But I would love to see, Gronk and Bray and O.J. Howard start really and I think when you start seeing that, you'll see a lot more things open up. But great news is, we got some fresh legs when it comes to the running back, and we saw that with Fournette with that run.
Well, I mean, I believe that when you look at this team, everybody going into the year was like, is this going to be a Brady offense or is this going to be more of an Arians offense? And this is a Brady offense. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah. Somebody today said, no, it's a hybrid. No, this is a Brady offense. This looks like a Tom Brady offense. I mean, everything about it looks, seems, feels, smells like exactly what you've been used to seeing. I mean, he's hitting the backs. There's a lot of dump offs. There's a lot of short stuff. And I mean, it sure is better than 3 picks in a game, isn't it?
Right. I mean, he had a few throws that were questionable, and of course the interception, but there was a lot more passes dropped that was right in the breadbasket that people should. These guys got to catch. They got to catch. Yeah. McCoy should have caught that touchdown.
Oh, that was
no
beautiful.
doubt.
I mean, that was wow.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, these things we would assume, being that these guys are pros, that they'll clean up and get better. And you got to get excited about the defense, though. The defense is bringing it. Again, we held McCaffrey, what was it, 54 yards rushing. I mean, he had a couple scores on us. But you got to get excited about the defense. I mean, the defense is playing good. How many turnovers today do we have?
I don't know that. You got me. Me. Right. We had 5 sacks. We had, I mean, it was a fun game to watch. I mean, I can remember I think there's 3 that I can remember.
Right. I wanted to say there was 4 total. 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. I think there was 1 more in there somewhere. But, again, defense is playing stellar, and I like the way we're playing. If we're going to go far, which is what the hope is, we want to go in the playoffs, we got to have a good, solid running game, and we got to have defense. We know
right now. What are you looking at? What'd you see today? I mean, you saw the formula, right? So
yeah. So against a divisional rival, Atlanta dropped the win today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So so
I'm here in Atlanta. So I mean, I was sitting there in a sports bar as that whole thing went down, and that was a shame. It was just a shame.
It's something else. So, but I mean, again, the Bucs still have a long way to go. I think the difference is if we were 1-1 with the same group of guys we had last year, the energy would be different. The outlook would be different, because at the end of the day, with that loss last week, the energy was, we're still optimistic. We know we're a better team. Yeah. And I think that's the big difference here. And I call it the Brady effect, where someone's going to, I don't know if you noticed during the game, and I got to rewind and watch the tape, but I'm pretty sure right at halftime or right after halftime, Brady was telling his bench that we're still 0-1. In other words, we haven't won the game.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And that's one of the things I have in my notes that I wanted to talk about was you're up 21-0 and he's pissed. Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure I saw him put up a 0 and a 1, as in to say we haven't won anything yet, and we're still 0-1. So that's the kind of mindset and the kind of competitiveness of bringing everybody's game up to the next level that you really need and we want. And I think that's going to go a long way. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a long season.
Yeah.
Great improvements today.
Yep.
Real excited about where we're going. I would hope to see us, win a couple back-to-back games here. Yeah, I know Denver's going to be tough. It's tough to play in Denver, no matter what team you got.
Right.
But we should be able to win that game. We should be able to win that game. We'll see how it goes, but we should be able to win that game. The Chargers are going to be they're going to be tough too. They look like they handled Kansas City pretty well today.
Yeah.
But
there
again,
was no
I think
film on Herbert though. There was no film. Now there's film, so that'll help.
Right.
I mean,
it
seems like the Buccaneers always catch what Kansas City caught today. It seems like the Buccaneers are always the team in there when the guy comes in for his first game and completely embarrasses the Buccaneers. I mean, with Daniel Jones, and the Giants and the whole thing. So it was nice to see it happen to another team. It was nice to see that. That's a tough thing when you don't know what you're up against.
Yeah, I would love to see us go into playing, not to look too far ahead, but to take Green Bay at home and be sitting at 3-1 during that game. I would love to see us do that. So, I had us lose in the first game, and I have us lose in Green Bay and Kansas City, and then one other game. But I think we're right where we want to be. We could have played a lot better, but a lot of progress.
Played a lot worse last week. So
hey, we made a field goal too.
Yeah, and the kicker. I mean, even the extra points and everything, they're not close to missing. I mean, that's that. I mean, he's my MVP right now. I mean,
yeah. And it was really, honestly, it was a windy day, and then some part of the game, I believe when he kicked it, it was a little bit of wet. There was a little bit of rain coming down. So at the end of the day, he made the kick, which hopefully that means he can continue to do that throughout the year, because we're going to need him too. A good kicking game. We're going to need him. There's going to be some games we're going to only win by a couple points, and we're going to need that kicking game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and I mean those extra points too. I mean, it's just every kick last year and the year before and the year before. But I mean, every kick you just had this. You were just like, like what's about to happen? What's about to happen?
Right.
And this year, when he gets out there and you're like, oh, okay, this is less than 45 yards. Okay, I think we're good.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, that's worth a couple of wins right there.
Right.
I mean, when there are games coming, they're going to be decided by 3 points or less. They're coming.
Yeah, it happens. And if you've ever looked at Brady's type of play, he usually plays games close. He's coming from behind, or he's winning by close games. And all of the Super Bowls have been close. He plays good teams close. That's how usually it does. Not that we'll do exactly that every game, but I think we're going to need the kicking game, the running game, and we definitely need that defense. So, I'm excited because it looks like we are, once we clean up the little things here and there. I thought the offensive line played a lot better. That was a good sign. I thought they played well.
Felt like night and day. I mean, you still saw every once in a while, especially in the second half, Donovan Smith was Donovan Smith. But in the first half, especially, he didn't play so bad. He didn't play. By the way, Johnny Dean says we had 5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumbles.
And we'll see, but I think we came, another thing that is not going to necessarily be on the stats is that I don't think we walked away with too many injuries, which is, as you saw today in the games, the 49ers lost 4 guys.
Yeah.
Other teams lost key players like Barkley and there's guys lose. I mean, Denver lost their.
I feel bad for Saquon Barkley, don't you?
What's that?
I mean, you got to feel bad for Saquon Barkley.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, that I'm not a Giants fan or anything, but you see that happen to a guy. Same thing that happened to Cadillac Williams. I mean, you just can't.
You got. I mean, here's the thing. The 49ers probably are going to not. Likely they're not going to be what they were last year because of injuries. Basically, Arizona did beat them the first game, but injuries is probably going to set them back. They're probably, they may or may not make the wild card. I doubt it at this point. But, along with playing well is you got to stay healthy. And luckily, so far, 2 games in, the Bucs are, I believe, fairly healthy.
Yeah, I mean, even when you have an injury like Godwin or whatever, it's not. I mean, it's a concussion. I'm making this sound like it's no big deal. It's not my head,
Right.
But I mean, he'll probably be back next week. So
right.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, and Evans seems like he's fine with the
Right.
hamstring
We got to look at that because that's going to be huge. You know, a good team doesn't go far with a ton of injuries. So, you know, as long as we can stay healthy, luckily we have some good depth on some key positions.
Yeah.
So, you know, at the end of the day, we're collectively staying healthy. So I thought that was another thing that we, especially with everything that happened with the 49ers and other teams.
Yeah.
We came out fairly very healthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, look
Denver
at Denver.
too. Yep.
Yeah, Denver's. I mean, they're Von Miller. They got 5 guys. 5 of them of their bigger guys are gone. So
Tyrone Taylor today couldn't even go because he had chest pains.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he was warming up and had chest pains and went to the hospital. That's why Herbert ended up starting.
Chest pains.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not good news.
Not good, but
No.
you know, being healthy is another key that we don't talk a lot about being successful. You know, in this league, so we got to be healthy.
What is it? The best ability is availability. So
exactly.
All right. Yeah.
So,
well, thank you, Frank. I appreciate you coming by tonight, and I mean, I'm very, very excited to have you on board with Live from the Cheap Seats. I mean, I love what you guys do. If I lived in Florida, I would be giving you guys a call. I can tell you that. I mean, the no payments till 2022. I mean, that.
Well, good news, Rick. We're coming to Georgia. We are coming to Georgia. We are
North Carolina. That's where I'm moving this week.
Well, it's funny you say that because we are doing our license to get everything set up, and it's reciprocal in North Carolina and Georgia. So those are actually the 2 states we're going to be going into next.
So I'll be talking to you.
Yeah, for sure. But listen, real quick before I go, I want to say anyone who signs up for a free estimate with us, a free quote, we will, regardless, no obligation, we will pay your next electric bill for you just so you can have an idea of what it's like to go solar. And you don't have to sign up, but of course we come out, we're so confident you're going to see the savings and you're going to want to sign up. But anyone who signs up with us for a free quote, right here because of this show and Bucs Report, we're going to pay your next electric bill. So go to our website 320solar.com, and you know, as long as you're a homeowner and you're interested sincerely into solar, we'll set up an appointment, come out to your house. It takes about 30 minutes. We'll go and do an evaluation of what you're using, the energy cost, give you that evaluation, and then as a result, regardless if you sign up or not, no obligation, we'll pay your next electric bill.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Well, Frank, thank you for stopping by.
No problem. Well,
I appreciate
great show, by the way. And then anytime, we'll come by anytime.
Yeah. Well, I expect I'll see you next week.
That's right, man. Go Bucs.
All right. Have a great one. Go Bucs. All right. Wow, that's pretty cool. They'll pay your electric bill just for a quote. Go to 320solar.com. Selling me there from Bucs Report. That's a pretty cool thing. That's pretty exciting. I wasn't expecting that. That's pretty awesome. Whoop, hold on. We got a call coming in. Oh, we have Dave from Orlando. My buddy Dave that I grew up with, went to first grade with. We used to wear Bucs jerseys and basically verbally get beat up. How you doing, Dave?
Well, I'm a bit hurt. Whenever I hear Bucs and kicker, I immediately think of second-round draft pick, and you gonged my comment. So
you deserved it. You deserved it.
We're off to a great start.
You deserved it. Listen, man, they've got a kicker. Now's the time to talk good. Now's the time when you can say, "Oh my gosh, the Buccaneers have a kicker." Forget about what happened. You know, it's like complaining about Vernon Hargraves. What are you doing that for? Complaining about whoever that guy was behind center last year. Why are we talking about that? You know, I mean, there's a kicker. They've got a kicker. That's worth 2 victories alone.
I hear you. Point well made. And just to update you, the New England just scored and missed going for 2 at 28-23 Seahawks with 14-14 to go.
It's probably a horrible thing for me to say, but in the whole, is it Brady, is it Belichick debate, and is it blah, 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 I just really want to see New England lose. I do. It's horrible, but I have to say it. Plus, Joshua Cole Allen, who is part of the Bucs report, he came from Boston, sort of used to be a Boston guy, although he's not a Patriots guy. So that, but still, it just for some reason makes me feel better.
Is that legal up there? You're a Boston guy, but not a Patriot guy.
He moved down.
Is that even possible?
He moved down to Tampa. So I mean,
gotcha.
But yeah, what did you think about the game today? Tell me, what did you think about the game?
Looking forward to next week. Drew Lock definitely is out.
Yeah.
2-6, the AC joint sprain. Bucs need to win that game.
Okay, so it is an AC joint sprain. Hold on, breaking news. It's an AC joint sprain.
It's an AC joint sprain.
Okay, I was not aware of what it actually was. Okay.
Sprained AC joint expected to miss 2 to 6 weeks. So,
okay. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, the Buccaneers keep running into injuries, and I don't mean that on their team. I mean from whoever they're playing against. It seems like the Buccaneers keep running into teams that are struggling with or dealing with injuries. Let's hope that stays that way. I don't know.
Well, it'll bring back memories for Gator fans because there'll be a steady diet of Jeff Driscoll. So this time, not rooting for him.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. He's not a Gator now, so.
Now, Cyril Grayson, I could read Tom Brady's lips after he missed the catch off his face mask, and I'm thinking maybe week 10, Tom Brady will eventually go back to him again.
If that. I'm telling you, there's a reason that guy was on the practice squad. I mean,
Well, I love the comment the announcers made when they said, "This is what happens when you try to turn track stars into football players."
Well, yeah. I mean, he certainly maybe he could have been a defensive back, but wide receiver, I don't know. I mean, and Arians was talking in the press conference after the game, saying how the one thing, Grayson has really great hands, and he couldn't believe that it happened because Grayson has such great hands. Okay, that's great. He has great hands in practice. Good for you. I'm proud of you, buddy. Wow, you can catch the ball in practice. Way to go.
So yeah, that I would scratch that off the depth chart as far as any type of
okay. This is what sorry,
wide receiver support from him.
I'm sorry, but I got to say this. Hold on for a second here, Dave. I got to say this because this drives me nuts when people start talking like Arians was talking about. He can catch the ball in practice. I don't care how good you are in practice. Don't even tell me how good they were in practice. I don't care. I want to know how good they play in a game. Okay, do you suck in a game? Because that's really what matters, isn't it? I mean, do they keep scoring practice? Am I missing something? I remember going out there during training camp. I don't remember a scoreboard, but I know they've got one at Raymond James. So if you can't catch the ball at Raymond James, I don't care if you can catch it across the street. I just don't care.
Yeah, practice. We're talking practice. Yeah. So that doesn't even count.
It drives me nuts.
Well, a concern that I had today was prior to Leonard Fournette making his fabulous run to set up the field goal and the touchdown win, you had a desperate team trying to make a desperate stop. Yeah. And besides that, it was pretty anemic. You had 7 rushes for Jones, and it was pretty ugly up to that point.
Yeah.
Some of it, I think they wore him down. But they're going to have to get their running game together, especially if we're going to run a Brady offense with short passes. You've got to be able to offset that with the running game, and they really need to step it up. It's going to be a tough stretch here.
I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to complain too much about the running game today. I mean, Fournette did have 100 yards. I mean, and you can say, oh, yeah, well, 46 came on one run. Well, that nobody complained when Barry Sanders was doing it that way. I mean, nobody complains when other running backs get a big chunk out of it. I mean, look, man, he Fournette ran the ball when he needed to, shut the game down, ended the game, put it away. You know, I'm not going to complain about the running game.
Well, it's going to be tougher against the Cardinals defense and the Broncos defense.
Yes, it will.
But,
yes, it will.
And I think we can agree the Panthers aren't a very good football team, but the Bucs did what they needed to do. They're set up, and the next 3 games are key: at Denver, home with the Chargers, and then on the road against the Bears before you have the big Battle of the Bays on October 18th.
Yeah.
So they need to win 2 of the next 3, or all 3, of course, preferably. But I think you're going to see really where the Bucs stand and what kind of season that they're going to have and what type of run that they're going to make in the playoffs after these next 3 weeks.
I don't know that the end result, I don't know that the final score tells the story next week. Okay. I don't know. I think you have to see continued improvement. If you see continued improvement, this team's going to be fine come November. That's what Arians was talking about, and I agree with him about that. I think you're seeing a team finding its sea legs. You're seeing a team who's figuring out how to navigate through this whole mess. And, you know, I mean, it's a weird year without the same kind of, you didn't have OTAs, you didn't have preseason. You've got a team who's just now coming together. They played 2 games together. If they continue to improve, it's going to be fine.
And it doesn't help with Chris Godwin being out today. No. It took a key weapon away from Brady. So hopefully Godwin's back soon and they can incorporate the tight ends. Yeah. And I think that starts with having a successful running game to set up Brady for what he wants to do with the play action. If we can pull that off, I think there's going to be a good result in the next few weeks.
I don't know if you heard what I said a little bit earlier, but I said I think Chris Godwin had a big game today. Just in the sense that with him not being there, you could see how missed he was. And I think he helped his contract negotiations today when he wasn't there. I think what happened on the field today helped Chris Godwin.
Well, that's hard to argue with. Yeah. So, get well, Chris.
Yeah.
We need you back out there.
Yes, get right.
And I'm sure his agent has got a big smile on his face as well.
Yeah. So, Johnny Dean just said you don't win championships in September or October. November and December is where it counts. I agree. And that's why I just want to see improvement. I want to see it continue. I think you've got to be good enough to make the playoffs. You've got to be able to get in there. You've got to, but you need to be playing at your best at that point. If they come together now and then hit the playoffs running, I'm fine with that.
It'll be interesting to see too if fans do come back this season and for the playoffs, because that will have a big impact. So if the Bucs, as they're going to be without a preseason and with all the new players that they have, obviously they're not going to get off to a rip-roaring start, but it might be to their advantage if they're not they make the playoffs, but not a high seed if you don't have the fans in the stands.
Can you imagine Raymond James rocking with Brady and this whole crew there and everybody loving it, the defense playing like they do? I mean, that's awesome. Yeah. Hey, we got Caleb Grabowski. Dave, you will know a Grabowski. This is a younger one. Caleb Grabowski said,
there's a lot of them out there.
Yes, there are. He said, I agree. Brady's not changing from being Brady. That arm is still hot. I agree. I mean, I think, Caleb, I think you're right. I think this is a team that what you saw today was a step forward. I think you saw Brady's passion. I mean, when you're up 21-0 and he's on the sidelines pissed off that something didn't go well, I mean, that says a lot, doesn't it? And you know what? Now, the best part of all of this, Caleb, is that what we're not going to see all week and hear all week is people talking about Brady's bad game. You know, that's not going to be the focus. Oh, he had a bad game. Now you're going to hear, oh, okay, well then, this was Tom Brady. I mean, that's what you're going to hear. And I mean, this is what they brought him in for. There were no real massive mistakes. Yes, there was a turnover. Yes, that's uncharacteristic. Yes, all of that is true. You notice he didn't make the same mistakes he made last week. He's not going to make the same mistake from today. That won't happen again next week. The team will continue to get better. And as it continues to get better, look out. So anyway, All right, Dave. Thank you for calling.
One last. All right.
No,
talk
you
to
got
later.
something
Have
else?
fun.
You got something else? Go ahead.
I was just wondering. I thought your Tuesday evening show was fantastic. Idea with the 4 squares and different people calling. I was just wondering how you came up with that. Where did that idea come from?
Where does the idea come from? I have no idea. I'm weird. I don't know where my brain comes from. I like food. My brain's generally on food. So what's cooking in the South kind of made sense. And yeah, I think it's just one thing led to another. And I think it'd be cool to have a little bit of like, when you watch news shows and they've got people all in their little boxes and everybody's arguing different things. It's basically, all 4 points going at it. It'll be kind of fun. And we're going to mix in a little bit of a food element too. So it's going to be a good time.
Well, I like food too, so I'll be sure to tune in.
Yeah, let me tell you guys something. Dave, this is what I know about Dave. Dave, like I'm a beef brother. I'm a big guy. Okay. Dave's not as big. Okay. That guy can put food down. Like I mean, it's a sight. It's like, how can you physically do what you do? You put some food down, Dave. It's amazing.
I got a metabolism like Secretariat. What can I say?
Yeah, no joke. All right, brother. Nice talking to you.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Have a good one. All right. It was my good buddy Dave from all the way back to the elementary school days. Okay. Yeah, there is definitely a fun energy with these Bucs, Caleb. There is absolutely a fun energy with these Bucs. It just has a whole different feel. It's not just the same depressing thing from last year. It's not the same. Oh, here we go again. Now there's hope. There's hope. When's the last time this team felt hope? I mean, it's been a long time since you could actually have something to really be hopeful about. But I don't know. It's been it's something that Buccaneers fans have long deserved, is to actually have hope. When is the last time? I want to know, if you're a Buccaneers fan and you don't feel hope, if you're a Buccaneers fan and you feel like it's all over, this season's going to suck, call me, convince me. I dare you. Call me. I bet you the phone stays silent when it comes to that. I mean, there's no good reason to not be looking at this team and feeling hope. But I mean, people are going to complain. They're going to complain. I promise you, all week. I saw somebody in one of the chat rooms, or it was on Facebook, of course. And somebody was saying, yeah, Brady sucks. Brady's done. He's no good. He's done. You could see his arm is shot. He's done. I'm like, dude, what game are you watching? What are you seeing? Because somehow or other, we watched a different game. So I don't know what it was. I mean, he had beautiful passes that should have been caught and were not. I mean, that the pass to McCoy. I mean, I right now, Shady McCoy is laying in bed in the fetal position, just replaying that over and over and over. That's what's happening. I mean, they're you're not going to see a lot of that because Brady won't continue to throw to him if that happens again. But I think there's more. I think you're gonna have more. I think you'll see McCoy, this McCoy, not the old McCoy. I think you'll see this guy improve. But anyway, yeah. Johnny Dean says a Secretariat mention. Awesome. Now we know. Now we can just need the can-do attitude. Yeah. I'd like to win a game. What was it? Secretariat won by like how many lengths that one race? And I would love to see that again. I would love to see the Buccaneers just pull away. I thought it was going to happen today. Just put the game away. Be up 41-0, and then get mad if the other team scores and ruins a shutout. That would be fun. I would love to see that. So I want to talk to you guys about something real quick. Next Sunday may be a little bit different. The show may be a little bit different. I will be in the process of moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, to moving into studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. So the show next week may be hosted by Joshua Cole Allen. If not Joshua, it will be somebody, but it will be a little bit different for 1 week only. And then 2 weeks from tonight, for sure. If I'm not able to be on next week, 2 weeks from tonight, I will be back. But please hang in there with Joshua. Have a great night. Joshua is awesome. And hold on, we got a call. Johnny Dean.
Sorry about that, man. I thought I dialed after I dialed. I noticed that you started talking. I was like, I didn't want to interrupt you, but
No, you're good. You're good.
You picked up the phone, so now you get to hear me.
That's what we're here for.
I thought maybe you would get the Can Do reference, but I guess that's even old for you.
No. I mean, Secretariat's not old for me. What did I miss?
No, not Secretariat. The horse Can Do.
I don't remember the horse Can Do.
They made a song about him. He was a grandsire of Secretariat. He was an amazing horse way before Secretariat.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not remember that. I go back. I remember Secretariat.
Look up the song Can Do. It's all about that horse.
Okay. Very cool. No, I didn't get it. Hey, I'm not a smart man. What do you want?
Oh, well, I'm just old, dude. That's all it is.
All right.
And I used to follow horse racing all the time. That's one of the reasons I liked living in Baltimore.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, there's plenty of it up there. When I lived in Connecticut, I heard a lot more about horse racing than I do down here.
Yeah, you don't hear nothing about horse racing down there.
Yeah, there you go. David just popped
right
in.
There is amazing horse breeding territory.
Yeah, Dave just piped in with 1973 Belmont Secretariat won by 31 lengths. That's the race I was referring to.
Secretariat was bad.
That was amazing. I've never seen anything like that. To this day, I've never seen a horse race remotely close to that. That was awesome.
I don't think they have clips of Can Do. He was sold, but man, that was grandsire of Secretariat.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Same lineage.
That's very cool. Grandsire. I learned a word today.
All right, man. I'll let you get back to what you was talking about.
Yeah,
I
man.
didn't mean to interrupt.
Nope, you're good. Thanks, Johnny.
Later.
All right. So what I was saying is, next Saturday, I may not be on here. We may have a guest host because I'll be moving into new studios and they'll be all bright and shiny and new, and the toggles will be toggled correctly and the switches will be switched correctly, and we will be back for good after next week. But thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys for participating. Thank you guys for being a part of Live from the Cheap Seats, powered up by 320 Solar. And you heard the news, 320 Solar will pay your electric bill if you get a quote from them. Go to 320solar.com, tell them Bucs Report sent you. They'll pay your power bill for getting a quote. And no, nothing out of pocket till 2022, and you own your power, and you're no longer renting it. So that's a full house right there, man. All right. Thank you guys for stopping by tonight. Have a wonderful night. You ought to be happy. You ought to be happy. Sleep good tonight. It's going to be a good week. The Buccaneers win 31-17. Have a great night, guys. Have a great night. If I can figure this out.
Power bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up.